So you might be asking yourself, what the heck does health and fitness have to do with upgrading my social life? Well, let me ask you this question. Have you ever found yourself at the end of a workday with the choice of either staying home because you're running low on energy or going out to a social gathering? Your level of health and fitness directly affects your ability to upgrade your social life because you need energy for your social life. But that's really only one part of the picture, since as you know, maintaining health and fitness is not just about having a good amount of energy to socialize, it's about how you treat yourself, which directly affects your self-esteem. It's really about raising your standards about how you treat your body. People who treat their body well have more respect for themselves, which directly affects their level of self-love, and the result is that their emotional shield of self-esteem is very strong. So they are much less likely to be offended and less likely to be affected by rejection. People who don't treat their body well have less respect for themselves, which lowers their level of self-love, and the result is that their self-esteem is lower and their emotional shield is thinner or non-existent. So they are much more likely to be offended, to take things personally, and to be affected by rejection. So what does it mean to raise your standards for your health and fitness? Well, there are 5 simple questions that you can ask yourself. Number 1, how often do you exercise? If this question makes you feel at all uncomfortable, then you probably already know that there's room for improvement here. I'm not trying to turn you into an Olympic athlete here, but I'm sure that you know your body well enough by now to know what kind of minimal amount of exercise is reasonable for you to do on a weekly basis. But if you don't, then I strongly urge you to ask your doctor the next time you see them in order to get some kind of recommendation based on your age and any specific medical conditions. Now, if you want to improve your level of health and fitness and your social life at the same time, then I recommend joining a walking or jogging club or a sports and social club in your area, because if you can combine fun with all of this, then that's really ideal. In fact, a lot of sports and social clubs encourage participants to hang out for drinks or dinner afterwards. I myself was a member of a sports and social club for several years, and I met some really interesting people there. Okay, getting back to the 5 questions you need to ask yourself in order to raise your standards for your health and fitness. Number 2, what specific foods are you eating too much of? Again, you know the answer to this question. Perhaps you've got some guilty pleasures such as ice cream or cookies or potato chips. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for indulging in snacks since I really have a sweet tooth, but I also feel really great when I'm able to stop myself from eating too many snacks because I can honestly feel my self-love going down when I do that. I lose respect for myself at the expense of some delicious treat. The good news is that when you start to exercise more, your cravings for unhealthy snacks go down and your body actually starts to tell you what it wants, which is usually more of the nutritious kinds of food that your body actually needs. And in terms of snacks, just remember that there are healthy snacks that you can eat which have natural sugars as opposed to processed sugars. So I'm not asking you to not have any snacks. The main thing to remember about food with natural sugars, such as apples compared to cookies, is that foods with natural sugars are digested slower and help you feel full for longer. Also, when it comes to what specific foods you may be eating too much of, it's really important to be aware of how much you are eating and how fast you eat. If you eat really fast, your body isn't able to tell you that you're full as easily, so do your best to eat more slowly if you know that you're a fast eater. Also, it's really important to make the connection of eating because you are hungry and not eating to feel good. Feeling good is a benefit from eating delicious food that is good for you because you're hungry. Number 3, what specific foods are you not eating enough of? Just like with the last question, I'm sure that there are foods that you know that you should be eating more of, such as fruits and vegetables, and I'm going to share with you a little trick that I've discovered when it comes to steering me in the right direction. The next time you're in a grocery store, before you start shopping, pass by the checkout aisles and take a look at what people are buying, and more specifically, what they look like. As they say, you are what you eat, and I know that if I see a very overweight person buying a bunch of junk food, I'm definitely less inclined to buy junk food because I don't want to look like them. Number 4, do you have any health issues which you should see a doctor for? It's really easy to put things off, especially when we're living such busy lives, and it's especially easy to procrastinate going to the doctor to get checked out on a regular basis. My dad used to brag about not being sick very often, and that he hasn't been to a doctor in 15 years. He was so proud of himself to be able to say that. Of course, this all changed when he found out that he had a specific kind of cancer called multiple myeloma, which is a form of bone cancer. By the time he was diagnosed with this condition, it was very advanced, and he spent the last year and a half of his life in a hospital bed. It was really hard to see him go through all that pain and discomfort. And the real tragedy was that if he had only been diagnosed earlier, he probably would have had a much better quality of life and lived longer as a result. Maybe you've got some things that you're concerned with that you need to get checked out, but you're procrastinating about it. Either way, it's good to see a doctor on a regular basis, so if you're not doing this now, please do this. And lastly, number 5. Do you visit your dentist at least once a year? As an entrepreneur, I know what it means to not be covered by medical insurance. I also know what it means to put off going to the dentist and then finding out that I need to get a root canal because I waited way too long to get checked out. So if you think you're saving money by not going to the dentist, well, think again. It's not worth it to put off taking care of your teeth. And once again, your level of health and fitness, which includes your teeth, directly influences your level of self-love. And your level of self-love directly influences your self-esteem. I honestly don't expect people with low self-esteem to have great social lives because I know how emotionally fragile they are without their emotional shield. But I also know that anyone can improve their self-esteem, and improving your health and fitness is a great way to do that. Please see the worksheet associated with health and fitness, and please answer the questions associated with each category. In the next section, we're going to cover values and passions, which is my favorite section of the entire bootcamp. I'll see you in the next section.